Well, we're back. Welcome to the second Word from the Wheeland House, our periodic vlog that'll tell you a little bit about what's going on here at the Fuller Center. Last time we took a tour of the building and we met some of the folks here that are working hard to support the work in the field. This time I thought we might take a look at our international work and what's going on overseas, and it's really very exciting. There's just so much happening there. You know, we do have an issue though with our overseas work. Most of the countries that we work in don't have an inherent ethos of giving. Charity is not something that's commonly found in many of these countries. Because of that, much of the support for the work that we do there has to come from here. And there are three major sources of that funding. There is general revenue, funds that we just receive and allocate to the field. There are the global builders work teams, which is a very important source of revenue for many of our covenant partners. And then there's tithing, which is the way that the covenant partners in the United States share of their bounty with the groups overseas. Now we're going to talk a little bit about some of this stuff today because it's very important. One of the things that's happened this year is our global builders trips have been canceled. We haven't sent a team overseas since March. And what that means to the covenant partners that take global builders teams is a real loss in their ability to do their work. An average team, say a team of 10 people, by the contributions that they make as a feature of their fees to the program, are able to fund often in many places the construction of a home. So without those teams, last year we sent almost 60 teams abroad, and this year we've sent, I don't know, a handful, maybe 2 or 3. But that has a serious impact, which means that we're looking for ways that we can subsidize that by providing resources. And the Global Home Challenge was one way that we generated funds that we could share with our covenant partners overseas. And the other one is tithing. But let's spend a minute talking about some of these programs because they're just fascinating. And we have with us here our Vice President of International Programs, Ryan Iafiola, and I'm going to ask him to share a few thoughts about some of the work that we're doing overseas.
Well, thanks, David. And I'll just add that some of our international partners have really amazed us as well with some of their tithing. Not as frequent, but from time to time when places who have such little resources also still give, maybe after a disaster or some other project around the world. And that's always inspirational to us.
Well, interesting, last year the largest tither was Puerto Rico. That's not third world, but it almost is. And they sent in more tithing money than any other covenant.
And they've been through a lot.
And they've been through a lot.
Yeah, so just to highlight a few of our international locations, if that's all right, David. We're working in 19 countries around the world, but I don't think we want to go through all of them, but just a few highlights that came to mind. We're going to start maybe some of our more remote and further away ones. Papua New Guinea comes to mind. It's one of our newer partners. They actually mill their own timber, and they didn't have their own sawmills. So how do you mill your own timber if you don't have it? Well, they borrow sawmills, they break down, they have to pay a lot when they're trying to get them. So we've been saving up for years to help them buy their own sawmill, and we just finally reached that. And so they purchased it, they have it. Now they are getting training on how to use it to make sure to last for the long haul. So we're really excited to see this year the impact that will make on that partner. They're not going to build hundreds of houses, but they are making a difference there in their little community. Another one that comes to mind is Madagascar. Not the fun animals that you might know from the animated films, but it's just a fascinating place though. It does have some very unique animals as well as wonderful people. And we connected with them a few years back, and this year they're going to be building about 33 homes there, which is a big leap forward for them. We're really excited about that. And they do each home for about $3,300. I guess 33 and 33. I hadn't thought about that till right now. But all their homes, they have some kind of latrine or bathroom. They have clean water for these families. They get them some kind of solar lamp so they can at least have a little bit of power for little cell phones. So they get a lot done with a little bit of resources, which is something we see in many of our partners around the world. They really stand out with that. Another one that comes to mind is Nepal. Our work there really took off after the 2015 earthquake. Our houses withstood the quake without hardly a crack, while 80 to 90% of the homes in their area collapsed. So we built well over 100 homes since the earthquake, and the repayments from that are now really carrying that project forward, which is just what we love to see around the world. Haiti is another place we got involved with after the earthquake, and people there told us that repayments wouldn't work. Haitians wouldn't repay. But we're working in the community of Pion, and they're buying into it. They have struggles. It's not an easy place to work, but the people by and large are buying into it. They want to pay it forward and help more families. So we're continuing to make a nice impact in Pion, Haiti.
Also building some of the prettiest houses.
They really are.
I don't know how they do it, but they're very attractive homes.
They do. They have some excellent design. El Salvador. You might have heard some about this from us before because it has just really taken off. We're truly building communities at scale down there, thanks to some fantastic partnerships. And this year we're expecting to build at least 150 homes spread across 2 communities. Flush toilets, not luxurious homes, but places that are going to really change the lives of these families who are moving out of rusty tin and mud and plastic shacks. And then the last one we can't not mention would be Armenia. Last year they built over 200 houses, first time any of our partners have reached that mark, and they crossed the 1,000 home total mark, which is also a first for any Fuller Center. So they just continue to do outstanding work, and I know they're going to have a great year this year.
Armenia is a fascinating place. A lot of their homes are built out of quarried stone. So they build out of stone blocks, and those houses are going to be there long after we're not. Thanks, Ryan. It's just wonderful stuff. And Ryan spends most all of his time helping these folks get their work done, and oversees the Global Builders Program. He also oversees the Bicycle Adventure, which is another sad tale from last year that we're hoping is a happier tale this year.
Right.
Because that generates a lot of resource. And, we don't, here in America, this office doesn't build. And our covenant partners in the United States, by and large, are self-funded. We don't send money to the stateside covenant partners for building. So if the money that we can generate, we have very low overhead, and so the money that we can generate can go over there. And that's important. But we really do need the support of the tithes. If you look at the partnership covenant, the 6th principle in there, and our foundational principles, is this. It says, the Fuller Center is a global partnership. In recognition of and commitment to that global partnership, each covenant partner is asked to contribute at least 10% of its cash contributions to the Fuller Center's international work. And there are a couple of reasons for that. I mean, at first it helps to having that money to send overseas, but to me the most important thing actually comes right out of the Bible. If you look in the last book in the Old Testament, it's the book of Malachi, and he says this. He says, he's talking for God. It's to bring the tithes to the storehouse, and prove me now herewith, saith the Lord of hosts. I'm a King James kind of guy, so stick with me. Saith the Lord of hosts, if I will not open you the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it. Now that's right there. This is right there in the book, is the promise of what can come from sharing your tithes. So I encourage you all to do that. The work that we're doing is outstanding work, and the folks overseas are just delightful partners. And like I said earlier, now we consider Puerto Rico sort of mixed. It's a state U.S. Part of the United States, but it's also part of our Global Builders Program. And last year they were the largest single donor of tithing in the entire organization. And then there are others that have done wonderful things. Indianapolis, New York City, Ginger Ford down in Louisiana, and Shreveport. They all contributed tithe. We encourage all to think about it spiritually. It should be a matter of prayer and commitment. So my prayer is that in this new year we take the Lord at His word and see if we can't reap some of those blessings. Not next week, but our next vlog we'll talk a little bit about programs here in the United States. But I hope you're enjoying these, and let us know if there are things that you would like to hear more about. We'll be happy to put those into the program. And in the meantime, God bless you. I'll keep you healthy. We're praying for the health of all of our covenant partners, and we've done pretty well so far. A few have had the virus, but not many. But we pray for your good health, and we pray for your success, and we are here to serve. So thank you very much.